Friday edition of PFT Live. So Saquon Barkley thinks the 2024 Eagles, one of the best teams ever in the history of the National Football League. We're going to do a draft. This is the Run PFT version of our best teams ever. You can disagree, you can agree. We don't care either way. These are our choices. It's a very personal thing based upon many years of, along with 200 million other football fans in America, watching and studying year after year, season after season, Super Bowl after Super Bowl. Give me your first pick.
All right, Mike, I'll just say this. Before I pick first, I'm going to say that Saquon Barkley could be right. What generally happens is the recent teams are underrated sometimes, and the older teams are overrated. Or sometimes the recent teams are overrated because there aren't historians picking. And so, hey, I just saw it last week. This team is the greatest ever. So he might be right. History might be kinder to him. But I'm going to say the number one team for me. Imagine if you come out and you come up with some cheesy video before the playoffs start called the Super Bowl Shuffle. And you tell people you're going to win the Super Bowl. If that had happened in the era of social media, we would have gone crazy. How arrogant are these guys? I hope they lose in the playoffs. They didn't. The 1985 Chicago Bears, number one defense, everybody knows that. Number two offense, and they went into the postseason. They gave up one touchdown. One touchdown. So I got to go with the 85 Bears.
Yeah, you took mine. But for me, it all comes from a sense of inevitability that starts in the first week or two of the season. That you get a declaration. Like back in the 80s and the 90s, you didn't see team like the Saints this year. They scored nearly 50 points, 2 straight games, and then the wheels came off. Like, whatever you did early, you were more likely to keep doing all year long. And there would be that team of destiny that would be obvious at the latest by the end of September. And the Bears, it was obvious from the get-go that they were going to win the Super Bowl.
They knew it.
It was wire to wire, and they're going to win. The only question is, are they going to lose a game or not? And eventually they did on a Monday night in December against the Dolphins, and we were robbed of the rematch because the Patriots upset the Dolphins because the Dolphins were probably thinking too much about the Bears, and they didn't take care of business against the Patriots. And then, what was it, 46-10 or 44-10?
46-10. Patriots scored
Final
first.
Score. Yeah.
Field goal.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, and, you know, we all like an upset, but that one wasn't going to be an upset. On that same note, and I don't know how inevitable it felt at the time because this was the year I discovered the NFL. I discovered the NFL with the Immaculate Reception game late December of 1972. But the Dolphins, I mean, they're the only team in the Super Bowl era that won every game. Every one win. Now, that year, the Vikings almost beat them. I learned about that after the fact, and I kind of had some pride in that. Hey, they almost beat the Dolphins and kept them from going undefeated. But you got to give it 17-0. Unmatched, and they keep adding games at the season. It's going to get harder and harder for someone else to do it. Greatest teams we have ever seen in the National Football League in honor of Saquon Barkley, believing the 2024 Eagles among the best ever. Who you got, Michael?
I've teased the number one Commanders fan I know, Gary Carter, about this. I said the 1991 Washington team is on my no draft list, but I'm a fair man, and I got to tell you, Mike, they're an underrated great team. They were great on offense. They were great on defense. They lost 2 games all year, and it was the third of Joe Gibbs' 3 championship teams. We all know he won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. The Mark Rypien-led Washington, I'll call them Commanders now, 1991. I'm going to put great team. Put them on my list.
They had that vibe the whole year, that this team is unstoppable. This team is unbeatable, and they will not be denied, and they obviously finished the job. We were talking about this during the break. The greatest show on turf, 1999 Rams. Now, they had that whole Trent Green injury, and in comes Kurt Warner, and who the hell is Kurt Warner? But they started winning games. They had Marshall Faulk. They had Isaac Bruce. Torrey Holt was a rookie. They had a great kick returner in Oz Hakeem, who would be supplemental receiver. And even though they had an easy schedule, and even though they almost lost to the Bucs in the NFC Championship, and it was a yard away from overtime or maybe a 2-point conversion by the Titans to win Super Bowl 34, there was always a sense all year long that it's the Rams, it's the Rams, it's the Rams. So greatest show on turf, 1999 Rams. Usually it's a defense. Now it's an offense. Give me one more before we wrap up, real quickly.
84 Niners lost one game. They were 18-1.
Steelers beat them that year. And that was the Dolphins' most hyped Super Bowl ever, Super Bowl 19. Dan Marino, Joe Montana, can't wait. 38-16. Give me a break. I still have that image of Roger Craig, high knees into the end zone in that game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.